Okay, welcome back to questionable scale modeling, and let's take a look at the USCP BMW M3 racing engine set. So, as I said in the last video, here is the block. It's got some really good detail, like really good. And this is a cast resin, it's not 3D printed. I already took this off its little tree. This is the intake. Again, it's really good detail. They actually have the mounting pins molded in, which is kind of nice. Here we have, I already took this one off. This is the transmission piece that we have to mount to the chassis. It also has this nub there for the engine to mount to. And we have our valve cover. And then it's also got some little areas here. Let me get a toothpick. Got some areas over here to, little holes to mount the spark plug stuff. There's our oil pan. Then we have throttle bodies, belts. I'm not sure what this is. It's some sort of a reservoir because it's got a filler neck on it. And we have this is the one in the center here. That is for the plug wires, or not really plug wires, the coils, individual coils. The other two pieces, that's actual plug wires coming off the coils. And then here's our distributor cap. And it's neat because the cap has holes in it for the wires to go straight into it. So it's nice that they have those mounting like that. And what else do we have? Here's another tree that's got what looks like a coolant reservoir. Then you got three reservoirs. I'm guessing one is brake and clutch. I don't know what the third one would be. We have an alternator starter. That one is oil filter housing and filter. And then the two on the end, these are the engine mounts. And here we have, I believe, so I know that this is like a bar that goes across the engine for support. I am not entirely sure what these two are for. Uh, they might be part of the mount, the strut as well. I'll have to get into that later. And I am not completely sure what that is yet. But again, we'll figure that out. Here's our exhausts. So they have, it's a four cylinder obviously, so they didn't do them all in one piece. They got them separate, so it make painting a little easier. And over here we have, I'm guessing these are for the top of uh, the strut towers. We have a coil wire. That might be a fuel filter, but I'm not sure. And I'm not really quite sure what those are. I haven't actually looked at the instructions that deeply. And we have radiator hoses. That almost looks like where the fuel comes in. And another hose or something there. Not quite sure. And finally, we have a radiator and shroud. The whole, so this will have to get glued into the body. And what else do we have? Oh, so these are two inner fender wells. And they also put in here a little track here to mount the hood so it'll open and stay on. But I don't know if they provided any pins or anything, so we'll have to figure that out as we go. So for today, we're going to modify our chassis so the engine will go in. And to do that, we got to look at the instructions. So they don't give you an instruction sheet, but they do give you a QR code. So I want to hold this right there. If you want to scan that, you can look at the same instruction sheet that I'm looking at, which is on my iPad right here. So there's all your parts lists, paint suggestions, and then it starts with the assembly, and then all the way down, that's what it should look like when you're done. Where did that go? There it is. So chassis preparing, we're going to go all the way to number 6. So we need to cut the chassis basically right along this line right here. You get closer. Right where the transmission stops. We got to cut there. And I'm using my trusty Tamiya engraving blade with a .01 tip. And I already took a couple of swipes a couple of days ago, so it's already, the track's already ready for it. So let's take it. Oh, I started that, but I'm actually going to use this scriber here to make the actual cut. The Tamiya blade, I started it because it's got a little bit more finesse. This one, I don't know what brand of scriber this is, but I picked it up at Andy's Hobbies in Arizona last year when I was visiting, so it's very sharp. So let's take this off. There, that is off. So now we need to cut this exhaust, and it needs to be right about, looks like it's flush with Looks like the exhaust has to be flush with this right here. That little, get my thing going here. This little tab mounting spot right there. That's where our line is. So, get in here with my engraving blade. And we're just going to scribe, hopefully a nice straight line. Okay, so now we need to same transmission flush. Okay, grip. Yep, let's see. We're going down right now. Get this right here. That's it. So let's flush. Grab the transmission half. Put it in place. Guess we could go ahead and glue it on. There's a couple of ejector pins right there. We're going to have to knock those down so it's flush. That's good. Oh, sand this thing down a little bit. There we go. That's good enough. Let's see what the engine looks like. Oops. You're right about there. So I think what I'm going to do is And there we have it. There's our transmission piece in place. Let me get these glasses off so I can get my normal ones on. So there's our transmission piece, pinned and mounted temporarily, of course, because it'll still have to be glued in place. But for now, that's pretty much it. We can actually leave that transmission piece off, so we can actually paint it separately. So, but I'm going to leave the pins on the body for the chassis. So next, let's see. Let's look at this. That there. Let's put our what is it? That out of the way. Get all that out of the way. Now there's our floor pan interior and our body. Oh, that didn't work. There. Oh, get in there. 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 Aha. Got it. Maybe. There. So there we go. There is what, when the hood's up, you're going to see that. And if we take the motor, set it in place. And the motor's going to go in just like that. Pretty cool. So now we need to put the inner fender wells, which are going to go in here, in that area, to cover all that up. Get rid of some of this debris. So that's going to mount just like that. I don't know if I want to glue it on yet or not because I don't want to risk breaking off while I'm doing my other body modifications. Because you can't just weld it on with glue. It's got to be super glue. But I think that's going to be pretty good. Let's see. Get the other one ready. Oops. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do before I finish this video is I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to kind of tack it in place so we can kind of see how it's going to fit. Bear with me. Back there. Well, that sucks. And let's look at the instructions on that part. Okay. That goes there. Oh, that's what that was. Okay. Uh-huh. Hose. That mounts to there. I don't think anything mounts to that side. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's try this again. That's my glue dried up. Okay, we're gonna try something different here. Damn it. Get my glue off of there. Okay. So we don't glue ourselves to the part. So we're gonna have to modify these fender wells. Won't be too hard. Or let's look at something else. So this So we're going to get our scriber and take off these little shelves. And then once we get the fenders where we want them, we will reattach them. There we go. We have inner fender wells. There's that side and that side. So now what we can do is we can play around with this guy and remount it where it's flush up against the front there. So we got to see what kind of angle we're dealing with here. And I can now see that I actually have to notch it out for the shock tower, or we're just gonna sand it until it fits. That's gonna do. What do you think? Let me change glasses. I can't see. Yeah. Well, there's that shelf there. And then that shelf there. And it's lined up with the upper firewall, which is where we want it. So now we're going to do some more fun. Right? Where is we need this guy here. So we're going to make a little bracket using the discarded piece we don't need to add a little strength to our shelf, because we need it. That already lines up perfectly. So a little bit more glue. I think we'll just go ahead and get some more glue. I think I'll actually sand that smooth so it's a nice contact. Perfect. And we'll add another one to that side. Where was other piece? Guess we can use this. Should be good enough. Try it out and see what it looks like. A little bit more angle. We'll just cut it. Oh, too much. That's close enough. There. Now we have some lateral support for our little shelf. And I think that's going to hold up pretty good. And add a little, well, no, I can't do that because the body's going to flex. Well, let's see what happens when we try to put the chassis back on. See if it breaks. Oh, shit. I've got to notch that out. So that, dang it. Hopefully I can just do this with a blade. Okay. cutting myself. That is going to work. Cool. Yep. So we have our inner fender wells mounted with our little shelves on it. Nice and super glued in. Looks pretty tight. And I just noticed something. My transmission doesn't look like it's straight. Looks like it's a little crooked. Damn it. Oh, I see it. Yeah. That's okay. We can take a pin off and just have one pin holding. There. That'll give me the flexibility. It's pinned, but it also gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Now it's straight. And since the pins are small, I can't just re-drill it. I mean, I could putty it and do it, but it's all right. It'll hold. All right, so we got the, oh, I wanted to look at our hood. I don't think I'm going to mess with a hinge. Because cars don't really, let's take this off. Model cars, when the hood is actually hinged, in real life, the hood doesn't open far enough to be able to see anything. And that hinge isn't really in a good spot anyway. Oh, oh well, I'm not going to worry about hinging it. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just held on by racing pins, hood pins. Okay, so I am at 1 hour 32 minutes, and I'm going to go take a break for a while. I got to edit this, and it is not going to be an hour and 32 minutes when it's done. Hopefully. Thank you for watching.